Hello, Namaste, S.S.Chandhok, good evening. Welcome to the S.S.Chandhok talk show. I'm your host and moderator, S.S.Chandhok. I'm very pleased and delighted today. We have very special guests, not from India, they are all from the other parts of the country, but they are all Indians. फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी. These are the Indians who have bring laurels to the Indian education, CBSE or whichever board they are working, and they have put up the name of the country everywhere outside the and every world, everywhere in the world. Thank you so much, everyone, coming over here. I'll introduce you the very first eminent guest. First of all, we have Dr. Rajiv Kumar Chauhan, sir. He is the principal of Indian School, Muscat, Sultanate of Oman. He is a seasoned and prolific professional with more than 30 years, out of which 15 years heading the schools of varied assembled of experience in the field of education. Comprehensive, protected, and pervasive experience in teaching and administration of education institution in various capacities as regional school director, Z Group, CBSE, city coordinator Kanpur, as well as principal in India and overseas in countries like UAE, Qatar, and Yemen are truly professional with a proactive attitude, capacity thinking in and out of the box, exceptional communication, presentations, counseling, and mentoring skills, secured PhD mathematics from BBS, Purvanchal University, Jaunpur, currently serving as principal of Indian School Muscat since March 2017 to till date. One of the largest school in Oman with a strength of 8,000 approximately students. Conducted CBSE inspection for more than 80 schools around India. Previous assignment as principal, he had been in many schools, but I won't read it out. Sir had, because I know him personally, as I'm from Kanpur, and Sir has been the principal and director of one of the very prestigious institution here in Kanpur, and we were very, delighted that he had been with us for a plenty of time, where we met him and came to know about him. Sir has also received so many awards from national, international level. He might be keeping in 3 or 4 rooms over there in India or there in Oman also, as well as sir is associated with so many associations on national and international level. Before coming up to the full introduction, I'll straight away come to sir. Welcome, sir, and I'm very pleased and delighted to see you once again after so many years. Sir, we will like to know from your words only that how did you start your career as an educationist and how you came up to this position? Because the people, you all are the leaders who make the leaders. So that is why you are a source of inspiration for all the principals like me and many more. We have seen you growing, all of you, we have seen you growing, and we have followed you all, and now we have become the principals of the schools. So please let us know your journey and the others who want to come into education as an administrator, how it hard had been you have reached over here.
Thank you, Chandhok sir. Thank you very much. And namaste to all. I come basically from an army background.
Oh.
However, I opted for education. I would say the education was not a compulsion, it was a choice to me. I opted for it. I took it as a passion, and I would say, fortunately, unfortunately, I work without watch. The body is still there's a work we do onto it, and I'm grateful to my mentors. I'm grateful to my the team who helped me to grow. I was able to do it out, perform. Yes, one thing is there. Your hard work needs a lot of time. You should have patience and trust in you. I grew up and I came onto it. That's what I want to say for any new person coming in. There is no work which is only meant for one particular domain. It should be in a very simple language. The smallest work, a person who wants to grow in an organization should be ready to work from P to P, that is from peon to principal. We should not think of anything else. All work is same, the dignity of labor should be there and should work dedicatedly. That's all I want to say. And your work will always be visible. That simple as that.
That's so great of you, sir. And you are so down to earth. Sir had been CBSE city coordinator. He has been the Saudi president at Kanpur also, and city coordinator also, and other places also, which I don't know. He is so humble that he doesn't tell much about it because he believes in work. I have seen him and I had known about him that he has always believed in working. He doesn't try to show that I have done this. That is why people like me, they follow him and they want to become like him. Thank you so much, Rajiv sir, and welcome to the show. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have Radhakrishnan sir. He's the principal of United Indian School, Kuwait. He's a passionate educational professional with 26 years of experience, has donned many hats with Ellen, like as a teacher, as a lecturer, as a curriculum designer, researcher, collaborator, academic writer, teachers trainer, vice principal, principal, secretary, and president of prestigious professional bodies, and so on. Currently serving as senior principal of United Indian School, Kuwait, and leading a team of 400 plus educators and 6,000 plus learners. Also associating with the Happy Genius Academy and Research Center, and the Panchtantra Planet Educational Research and Development Center as their honorary director and providing academic support. Radhakrishna sir had the privilege of association with reputed schools such as Pearson Schools, Hyderabad, Pevas Public School, MH English School, Dhruv Global School, and Tata High Edge Schools. CBSE RO Trivandrum has appointed him as city coordinator for Mallapuram district in July 2018. He had held the office of president of Kerala Private Schools Association from 2016 to 18, president of KPSS Sahodiyas 15 to 18, and state executive of Confederation of Kerala Sahodaya Complex 16 to 18. His rich experience in all the five levels, that is primary, middle, secondary, senior secondary, and tertiary sector, and kaleidoscopic exposure to different syllabi and institutions across the nation, makes him stand out of extraordinary educational professional. He is an all-rounder. He has done MBA with Human Resources as a thought leader, inspiring learners and educators alike. He has been associated with so many things. Sir, I had been seeing that after every few hours, not after every day, after every few hours, you are putting up something valuable into the media, which is, the thought-provoking as well as helpful to the teachers and the principals all over. And you are so energetic, sir. Please let us know about how do you get so much energy, as well as how did you start up from Kerala? How do you went to the place like Kuwait?
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Sarabjit ji, for the opportunity. Everything starts with gratitude. So I could reach here mainly because of the gratitude that I used to express to everyone, whomsoever support me. As Rajiv ji was telling, in the same way, I was also started with a teaching position. But I was always willing to take up the opportunities provided by the school heads. So when we were supporting the leaders with whom we were working, they were willing to provide us more opportunities so we could get into each and every aspects of schooling. That's what helped me to reach today, to reach this position. So I am thankful to all the leaders who supported me for this. And another thing, learning, that we should never forget. If you want to be a teacher or a principal, you should be a continuous leader. And Singh ji was telling, you used to post a lot of things, because all these are my learnings. I am still a student. So whatever I learn on a day-to-day basis, I prepare something of that, a slide or something, and I used to post it, because I feel nowadays what teachers and also leaders lack is reading skill. And we are going to talk about the same thing. And when we are not reading, how can we expect our learners to read? That is the biggest question. And
Uh,
and finally, what I wanted to add to this is, if we are learning, if we show the kids we are learning every day as leaders, there is no need for us to tell the children that you should learn. So be a role model for learning and leading. That's all I wanted to tell as an introduction. Thank you.
Fabulous, fabulous. And sir, I also want to ask you that, people think that when you are working abroad out of the country somewhere, it's very easy. And in somewhere in one of the group, we had posted some, vacancies for the teachers and all. And I have forwarded it to the people, and people, they are willing to move to the other countries.
Yeah.
They think it is very easy. They think it is very easy. They just think very easy working over here or going abroad. You people, what you are doing there, how have you reached over there? How have you established your name over there? It is not, so easy. So, sir, what do you say what to say precise to these people, those who will be seeing your episode, that it's not a easy thing to move out of your country and to make up your name over, I mean, outside the country. Please.
Yeah. What I wanted to tell you is, if you want to move out of the country, first of all, you should be tolerant enough, because you have to mix with different kinds of people. If you are not ready to mix up and also tolerant with the different cultures, different people, then you can't. In my school, I can say I have kids from African countries, I have kids from Far East, I have kids from Pakistan. I have kids from Bangladesh, from Europe, from different countries. There are kids, and you can understand 6,000 kids means they are from a metropolitan city, means they are from different countries, all across around, I can say 30 to 40 countries maybe. So, as a principal, if we cannot understand, and the staff too are from different countries, few are from Egypt and all. So, if we cannot accept their culture and style of living, it will be very difficult for us to live. So first important thing I wanted to tell those who are trying abroad is, be tolerant. That is the
Absolutely.
most important thing. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. And use social media. If you want to come out of the country or get into good institutions, use social media to build an excellent personal brand. There may be people to divert you on the social media by posting different things, but you focus on your area. If someone goes through your social media, they should understand that this person is for the profession. That's the brand you have to create, because each and
Fabulous.
every institution checks the social media history of a person before recruiting nowadays, especially a reputed company. So take care of that too. That is your brand. Thank you. Over to you.
Great, sir. Great, fabulous. And sir, moreover, I think that if you are moving outside, you are taking up the name of the country. Whatever you're
Yeah,
doing, the name of the country will establish. Indians are like this. They
yeah,
are
yeah.
good or whatever it is. That is most important thing. So what are the timings right now, sir, there? If we say 4 o'clock here, what are the timings there right now?
It is now 145 over here.
Oh, that's great, sir. Rajiv, sir, what are the timings there, sir? Sir, you're on mute.
We're just 1 hour ahead of Radhakrishnan, sir. We are now on 2:45.
Oh, that's great. I was looking after that, in Google also, what are the timings? Somewhere it was 1 hour, 1 hour 30 minutes before. I mean, we are running fast, 1 hour 30 minutes, and sir is ahead. I mean, 2 hour 30 minutes. So Rajiv, sir, you also had been working in so many places all over India. You have worked so many years in DPS also. You have worked in so many places, and you were in the Gulf countries before also coming back to India. Again, you are back to the Gulf country. So, sir, please in precise, you all, what is your comment to the people who want to go abroad and work?
Sir, it's very, Chandokji, it's very simple. Your dedication and your work speaks for you. To be very honest, the good institutions, they don't interview, they handpick the leaders. It's as simple as that. Once you do good work back in India, good organizations are looking. The moment I got the CBSE National Award, I was handpicked up by one big group. Looking at that, I was working nicely with the Z group. I was again handpicked by the organization here. They handpick it up because they all believe in quality. All of us sitting here, whether we Pramod ji or Nishu ji as well as Radha ji, we know they are generally good organizations will handpick the people from India. They don't, advertisement and all is okay, but all referral check, everything they will do, and then they generally handpick. And it's okay. Working India, working abroad is all fine. All that depends on your dedication, your work, and your presence in the, like sir, other you already told, the social media is very important. So how you're
Absolutely, sir.
doing it work and your work should be visible.
Sir, what about those who have not got the national award? How can they move? Teachers, likely the teachers, the principals, and the administrators like you, so you are,
Sir, it's very
spreading
simple.
the fragrance everywhere.
संतोष जी is very simple. जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. Your presence,
Absolutely,
your work.
absolutely.
I'm
Your
sure
work
all of us
speaks.
will all understand the meaning. What is the when
Yes,
you're
sir. Yes.
visible, everything is visible. So you
Your
can
work
do
speaks. Yeah, your
your
work
work
speaks.
speaks. As simple as work speaks. And we have
Fabulous,
all
sir.
different
Fabulous.
kind of things, and that is true. We are in this part of the world. We are the
Yes, sir.
ambassadors of this particular area. We have to carry the flag of India, so we do
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir.
That's very
Yes, sir.
important for us. They follow us.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Next, we'll come to Dr. Pramod Mahajan, sir. Sir is MSc in Physics, MA in Education, BA Creativity, MBA in Training and Development. He has got honorable PhD from of Metaphysics. He's a principal and school director of Sharjah Indian School. And Sir has worked with so many institutions as an head, like Shamshati International School, Hyderabad, senior principal, Gems Public School, principal of Lodha World School, Palawa, Mumbai. He had been the principal of Podar International School, Kalyan, Mumbai, Arya Cambridge International School, Thane, Mumbai, Birla School, Mumbai as vice principal. He had been principal since 2005. An experience in CBSE schools as principal for altogether 16 years, and total experience in education as 34 years. So you didn't like staying in India, sir. You had been working in so many schools in Mumbai and everywhere. So, मतलब, okay, what do you say in Hindi? आप इतना नाराज हो गए कि आप बाहर चले गए?
नहीं नहीं, इंडिया से नाराज तो नहीं हुए, पर बाकी बाकी
तो
बाकी
सीन आ
कंट्री
जाओ.
से ज्यादा खुश हुए.
तो सीन आ जाओ. आप कहते तो हम कहते तो सीन आ जाओ. That's great, sir. That's great, sir. And sir, you had been able 34 years is a big time, and we had been seeing you, like Sir Rajiv sir was saying, "Jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai," and you are everywhere, sir. You are not only in sessions, you are in all the organizations. Every organization where you will see Dr. Pramod Mahajan. So there should be a channel, or should it should not be Facebook or Instagram, or it should be a Dr. Pramod Mahajan.
Sir, it should be awards also. Everywhere awards he's getting.
Everywhere
Sir.
awards. See, he also knows about you, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, how do you do like this? I mean, you are having enjoying 4 days. We say that you have a 3 days holiday, 4 days working, but that 7 days work has to be done in 4 days. That's a hectic
Yes,
schedule
yes.
also. At the very same time, you have to, you have to take a backup during 3 days. That what next 4 days we are going to do, because the great responsibility when you're working as a leader as well as in a country where the things are, so strict, and you have to be up to your mark. Sir, please tell us the source of energy, and how do you feel working over there in Sharjah?
Yeah. So myself, Dr. Pramod Mahajan, and I'm heading one of the biggest school of UAE. You'll be surprised. We have, as on date, 11,282 students in single campus, and it has reached to 16,000. And last year I have shifted 5,000 boys to our branch school. So it is like that. And yes, I started my journey from a very small village. I belongs to a very small village, and I'm proud of that. Very interior village of MP, border to Maharashtra, and completed my primary education in a small village. Even higher secondary from that. My graduation and post graduation is from a uh, district place, Khandwa, and then I decided to be the teacher. I belongs to a family of educators. My mother, my father, both are retired principal. My younger brother is also a principal. My maternal uncle and auntie, they both are retired principal. So I belongs to a family of principal. I was selected for assistant station master in the beginning itself when I have completed my BSc in railways and all. But I said no, let me do my post graduation and then start teaching to the students. So that's my passion. I am not by chance, but I am by choice. that is there. Then, yes, it's a journey of local to global. Started my career from Army School Mahu, military headquarter of war. And in the first year itself, I was under, you might have heard that name, General Kalkat. He was our chairperson when he was heading the military school of engineering,
Now,
Army School, Mao. So started my career from there. And he used to say that he used to be a big follower of APJ Abdul Kalam those days even. He used to say that if you have to shine like a star, first learn how to burn like a star. So that was the principle, and that was I was following. Then slow, step by step, I then started. I was attracted towards the national schooling, selected for NVS, KVS, worked for some years there. Then I was thinking at why not the corporate sector of education. Then joined Birla's, then Lodha's, Poddar, like that. And I thought, okay, let's try abroad and let's try something which is unique. So the school I heard about, it's a historical and it's the biggest school. I said, okay, let us try there. And that, as Rajuji told, hand pick up. The same story happened, and I joined Sharjah Indian School. So that was a historical school. Now it's become a techno-savvy school, and the first choice of the parents. So that is the history. Within my stay of 6 years during the like in UAE in Sharjah, whatever be the best available in the country, I enjoyed that thing. I They selected me as a uh, secretary for the Sharjah Private Education Authority, Government of Sharjah. 2 years I enjoyed that position. Now I am the board of director, one of the board of director of SPEA, that is ruling all or taking care of all the schools within the Sharjah Emirates, various curriculum, Pakistani curriculum, Singapore curriculum, British curriculum, American curriculum, Filipino curriculum, and whatnot. CBS is there, ICS is there. So like that, uh, contributing myself in different areas. And our funda is like that. My funda is perfectly like that. Do it. If not working, delegate it. And if that is also not working, simply dump it and start doing the next thing. So that is going on. And during this time, I don't know how Cambridge started calling me for giving this presentation, that presentation. After that, Finland people, I was attracted like Finland, how they are leading the world. They called me. I've given some presentation over there, and it's become a general practice now every year going there. From last 2 years, because of Corona, we could not. Otherwise, visit Finland, Australia, we can name the country, whatever the best school of the world, visited and found one thing: every best school, there is a contribution of Indians. Whether it is Finland, whether it is Australia, whether it is Switzerland, whether it is Cambridge, whether it is America, wherever you go, the creative Indian edu leaders are there, whatever the capacity is. So it is not only the technical companies or engineering companies or doctors, but in the education field also, everywhere Indians are there, and taking that legacy ahead, we are there, either in Saudi or in UAE or wherever be, and taking the flag, the tricolor, always up, and that's the wish.
Amazing, sir. Amazing, amazing. I mean, we are proud of you, sir, and you are bringing up the name of the country in a place where Indians, and I'm very proud to hear that. Also, everywhere you will find that Indians are over there, and we all are proud to be Indian. Uh, Thank you, sir. Sir, please also, what would you like to say to the people, aspirants who want to, move abroad to countries, Middle East or wherever they want to go?
Yeah, my humble submission is remain dedicated, devoted, be principled, don't get distracted, whatever be the situation is, and keep on moving, keep on going ahead always, whatever the situation is. Pandemic, tough time, good time, whatever be, keep on doing your good work, keep on doing the smart work, keep on doing the hard work. The day will come, people will come to you. You need not to go anywhere. but your work should speak. You should not speak, your work should speak. And remain obedient. No doubt, you don't allow anyone to play with your self esteem. You may say that is your rigor, or you may say that is your ego, whatever be. We are not sent, we are not sadhu, we are not sannyasi. But yes, be humble and keep on doing your work, and yes, you will shine. Going
Amazing.
ahead, going to abroad and all, keep your documents proper. Everything should be certified. Everything should be genuine. Your police record should be fine, and character wise, you should be very strong. And no doubt, whenever you are doing the work which is out of the box or which is different from others, there will be lots of allegation on you. Many will be there to pulling your leg. Don't get distracted. Keep on doing it, keep on delegating it, and keep on dumping it. People will come.
Amazing. Amazing, sir. Amazing. Amazing. Sir, one last thing. What is the timing over there? When you talk about 4 p.m. over here in India,
Yeah, here now it is 2:55.
2:55. That's great, sir. We are
One and a half
4:25
hour,
right
one
now.
and a half hour
One
behind.
and a half hour behind. That's great, sir. People will also like to know what are the timings here in your countries.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, and welcome, sir.
yeah.
Next, we have Nishu Katyal, ma'am. She is the principal of Indian International School, Benin, West Africa. Ma'am has been in the education sector for over 2.5 decades. With a graduation degree in science and a postgraduate degree in management, she is currently the principal of the CBSE affiliated Indian International School, Benin, West Africa. An alumni of the Institute of Management Studies, DAVV Indore. Ma'am started this school from scratch, took it through CBSE affiliation and expansion, open to all communities. This school is a great support for parents seeking quality education in Benin. Earlier, ma'am held the post of IGCSE coordinator at the British School, Benin, for 7 years. And again, all the esteemed guests, they are associated with so many associations on national and international level, also got awards on national and international level. Ma'am is in Benin, West Africa. It's a very far away country where Indians, I don't know, ma'am will tell exactly that bringing up what I feel is bringing up a CBSE school at that place, even if ma'am told us that earlier that it is still 10th grade. It is easy in Middle East and all the places are, Arab countries and all. But I think it is not easy to put up a CBSE school over there. And you had that courage. You said you have started it from scratch. Ma'am, please let us know that how did you started this school? How have you brought up as a baby to this position?
Good day, Mr. Chandhok, and a good day to all the dignitaries. It's a pleasure to be with all of you. Yes, as you said, establishing this school in this part of West Africa. I'm sure most of you have not heard of Benin before this session. It is such a small country that if you look at the world map, which is printed in India, you would not even see the country Benin mentioned on it. You would look over. So whenever we speak about Benin, we always have to mention Nigeria and Ghana, which are bigger countries, to explain the geography. So yes, it has not at all been easy to establish a CBSE affiliated school. There was in the beginning there was a lot of opposition about the population being very too little to support an Indian school. So we began the school with a few students and ran it for 3 years before applying for the affiliation. Of course, the embassy was involved in it, and they created a window for us to apply, and with their support we were able to get this affiliation, and we have been renewing the affiliation. And I would like everyone to understand that this school is a major support for all the Indian families living in Benin, because earlier, before this school was established, there were many families where the husband was staying here for trade or job, and they were asking the family, the wife and the children, to shift to India for education or for further education. So the families were separated. But since we have established the school, it has given a good 12-year window to families to stay together. And those are the building years for children. And we can take the credit for binding these families together. It is much appreciated by the community here. And it is also giving an opening a better platform for other communities living in Benin. For example, we have Lebanese students, we have Beninese students who want to go for Anglophone education. We have Nigerian students. The Nigerian education system is as rigorous as the Indian education system. So our school, the rigor that it posts, are much appreciated by all communities.
That's great, ma'am. That's great. I
And I
mean,
would also like to talk
yeah,
about life in general in Benin and Africa. Many people who've never visited Africa have a false impression about Africa, that it's more of jungle and rural area, but that is not true. You have to visit Africa in general to know the beauty of Africa and the luxury and the ease of life that it provides. Today, if we look at any metropolitan city or bigger countries, there is so much of stress, pressure, pollution, chaos in these countries. But if I talk about Benin, it is in particular a highly peaceful, neat and clean country with beautiful beaches, pollution free air, and no chemicals in your fruits and vegetables. So, those are the benefits. I believe health is the most important today. Everyone is running after good health. So if you want a peaceful, those who are living here are blessed with a peaceful and non-polluted, stress-free life.
ma'am, we like to experience that if you invite us. All of us will come.
Definitely.
We'll
So
we'll fix up a month and date, and we'll if you invite us, we'll all be over there, and whatever you are saying, we'll feel the experience over there.
it will be a pleasure to host you all. It will be a pleasure.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And ma'am, from how many years you are there in Benin, and the cause?
Well, I've been here for almost 21 years now.
Because of any your husband business, or what purpose?
Yes, yes. My husband is in the telecom industry. He's
Okay,
the CTIO of a big organization, MTN. Just like you
that's
have
great.
Airtel and Ericsson, we have MTN here, which operates in 22 countries in West Africa. So we got married and came here.
Oh,
My
great.
master's is in business administration, but my career took a different tangent after coming to Africa. Of course, I've seen many women, many very talented women sit idly here at home because it's a francophone country and it doesn't provide the platforms for the fields from which you're coming. But instead of sitting idle at home, I decided to take up this different tangent which life had brought to me and make the best use of
Amazing,
it.
amazing, ma'am. Amazing, amazing. That's a wonderful initiative you have taken, and you are doing wonderful because you have provided education. You have brought together, the families together because you have provided education over there for the first 12 years. Again, ma'am is back. Our next guest is Captain Dr. Dinisha Bharadwaj Singh. She is the principal of Global Indian International School, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Ma'am is on a cruise right now. That is why there is so much of disturbance. So you can put her on mute. Ma'am is an Indian Army officer turned educationist after serving for 10 years in elite defense force of India. She is PhD in management, law and physics graduate. On one side, while she had worked in depth of education for northeast to almost all the parts of the country and abroad, she experienced adventure activities starting from paragliding to rafting, rock climbing, horse riding, camel expeditions, and trekking. She has presented papers in national and international seminars and has been a panelist, keynote speaker, and moderate on various online and offline forums, along with being a leader and motivated speaker. She has also enjoyed being a casual announcer in All India Radio Shillong, social worker in her passion, and she is still extending support to various groups in Indore, Shillong, Delhi, and in Malaysia. She has received recipient of 6 recognitions, medals, and awards from forces and 14 awards for her contribution in sector of education leadership and social work for various renowned forums organizations of India. She is an active member of various academic government bodies as a resource person, trainer, and content creator. Writing and speaking are her favorite hobbies. She has contributed in various manuals and training materials of various educational bodies for educational training and safety. Currently, she is heading Global Indian International School, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. We welcome you, ma'am, and thank you so much for joining. Even if you are traveling right now, you're on a cruise, you have attending the session. And
Thank you
personally,
so
I
much.
want to, I am personally telling, ma'am is into the social media again, like promotes her only. She reaches everywhere. She wants to spread her knowledge. She wants to spread her education, whatever she has learned, has seen throughout her life. she wants to spread that. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you so much. Please, ma'am, let us know that how did you came from, army background. You've been an army officer. We had been knowing till now that my husband or my parents were in the army. You yourself were in army and you left that and came over here. What was in your mind? How did you came into education?
Thank you so much, sir, for wonderful introduction. And once again, a very, very good evening to all the dignitaries present on this forum. I hope I'm audible. I'm speaking little low so that I don't disturb the surroundings.
No, ma'am, no
They
problem.
are in a holiday mode, so I don't want to. Okay, if I'm audible, fine. Yes, I am an Indian Army officer, and I have the privilege of joining Indian Army when Army started taking women entry. I'm one of the pioneers from the batches when this entry started. And it's always been a passion that time when I was a student that I should wear a uniform, and luckily this opportunity came my way. And I would have taken it for throughout life, but probably, as I said, when you enjoy being pioneer and you enjoy the status for novelty, then you got to pay the price of novelty also. So the status we enjoyed was that we enjoyed being celebrity, but then the penalty we paid was because army was not able to decide. Probably after one extension, two extension, they couldn't decide that this entry should be continued or not at various policy levels. So it was only for 10 years initially, and that's how I served Indian Army for 10 years. After that, it was it was back to nowhere, honestly, because nobody thought that the government and Indian defense would take such a decision in such a short time. So just like that time I moved to Delhi for a while, and then my husband got posted to a place called Shillong, and that's how I thought of enrolling myself to PhD. And luckily, I got selected despite the gap of 10 years in my studies, 10 plus years in my studies. I got selected for the scholarship and I did my PhD, and that's what was the entry to education. Because over there, I got a chance to be part of NERI, I got a chance to be part of University, Nehu, where I started doing my PhD. And from there, this developing the educationist mindset begun, and then there was no looking back. And also, honestly speaking, wherever I was posted during those 10 years of tenure, wherever there was something to do with education, I was taking care of, including the regimental and formation schools under that particular area. So there were 3 4 schools, so never thought of that okay, I will come into active education. But destiny brings you in, and now I'm really finding myself fortunate that I am part of this elite educationist crowd. And there were many who called me a paradrop principal also, because I picked up principal without being a teacher. So but yes, every time, as sir you were just introducing that I'm everywhere, it is my greed that I love to learn. And being people like you, all of you, who are kind of an ocean of education, every moment is learning for me. And every webinar, every interaction, it adds to my the bank account of my wisdom. So I feel fortunate, and that's why I try to find out. Right now we just came out of cruise and waiting, we are very near to our resort. So I'm waiting for rest of the members to come in, and that's how I thought, let me sneak out in a corner and talk to this group, and I can gather some wisdom,
So,
and I
ma'am,
can enrich myself.
ma'am,
So
ma'am,
that's
you
how
can,
I'm here.
ma'am, you can remove your mask also here, ma'am. No issues, ma'am. If there's not a problem, people will like to see
I
you also, ma'am.
Yes, I think yes, okay. Now we are too used to, just once again,
Yes, ma'am.
mask has become part of human
Part
life
and
now.
parcel of life. Yes, ma'am.
Even we
Yes, ma'am.
forget that when we are clicking the picture, we forget to remove the mask also. And I remember there was a teacher in my school in a few months back when we went for award ceremony, and I had interviewed her and selected her. And when she was receiving award, I said, "Oh, you are Priyanka. I have never seen you without mask." So that is that is because we selected her and she was onto online classes and she was doing well, and I knew that this is Priyanka, but probably I could recognize her with mask, and
Ma'am,
without mask I couldn't recognize her. So that is
ma'am,
the status now.
ma'am, this would have happened with us if you have not removed the mask. After the session, if seeing you somewhere, इनको कहीं देखा, we have seen her somewhere. Was she in the session or not? That is why I said
मास्क पहनो फिर पहचानेंगे.
फिर
मास्क
पहचानेंगे.
पहनो फिर पहचानेंगे. Are you the same person?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, again, we also like to know that if the
So
teachers or the people who want to move as administrator or as a teacher to abroad, I mean, out of India, what is your comment or what are your views or your, what do you want to say to them?
it's absolutely great, because life gives you opportunities. And one thing is, yes, when we are working in our own country, we are in our own cozy comfort zone. We know the benefactors, we know the beneficiaries, we know the culture. Even though, despite that, like in our own country there are diversities. Like I remember when I did my PhD in Shillong. So Shillong culture is almost entirely different. Their way of living, their beliefs, their language, their culture is entirely different. And we being Fajis, we could adjust everywhere, because I've been to Kashmir, I've been to Kanyakumari, I've been to Punjab, I've been to Maharashtra, MP, everywhere. So wherever I'd been, we are able to adjust. But yes, when we move to a different country, though being part of this chain, I had been moving to various countries on general body meetings or various other events like that. But simultaneously what happens is, you get to know more culture, more people, you get to adapt, and also simultaneously others know about you. And one very strong thing being in different country is that you got to put your right foot forward, because people judge your country with what you are. They don't know how. I mean, suppose they talk, let's talk about India and me. Nobody knows that how Indians are, because here, like in our school, we are dealing with almost 25 nationalities. And somebody who doesn't know about India would see Indians interacting with them and frame opinion, like we frame opinion about quite a few Chinese, Koreans are there. So looking at them, we frame opinion, oh, this is their culture, this is the way of life, this is their normal interaction and all. So it's a great opportunity, not only that you can contribute on a wider spectrum, but also you can get enriched by things like culture and being with people, being with a larger crowd. It's a great opportunity if somebody wants to do and venture out, coming out of the cozy comfort zone. It's a great opportunity, and I'm sure people should try doing it, because at end of the day, people do enjoy doing it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And ma'am, what are the timings there right now? Because I think your timings are around 1 hour, plus as compared to Indian times. It is
It's two
somewhere
and a half hours plus.
plus.
It
Okay,
is two
okay,
and a half hours plus.
okay,
Correct.
okay, okay. It is 7:45 right now, I think so.
7:15.
7:15.
Yeah. It is 7:15. It's
Yeah,
approximately 7:15 here.
that's great, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming, and hope you will get connected, remain connected, and we'll talk further also. Thank you, ma'am. Uh, Nishu, ma'am,
Thank you so very much.
we forgot to ask from you what are the timings right now there
Okay,
in
so we are
Benin.
4.5 hours behind India.
Okay,
We are
okay,
behind India. So right now it's no quarter past 12 noon.
okay, okay. And ma'am, how do you inspire the Indians who want to move abroad?
Well, I think that first of all, you have to build yourself in whichever country you are. Our Most of us have got our education in India. We have been built in India, and then we are making the tricolor proud outside India. So, for all those people who want to move to other countries, I would first say complete your education. I am a solid believer in the Indian education, the foundation, the personality that Indian education, our schools, our colleges have built are not comparable. So I'm really proud of our education. So I would suggest complete your education, get all your degrees, preferably in one go. Do not delay it, because your qualifications are important. Your work culture, your job experiences are important. And once you've built a strong background, then you move on to better avenues if available outside or within the country. I
Amazing.
really liked something that Mr. Rajiv said in the beginning. He said that at a certain stage, you are not interviewed, you are handpicked. So build yourself so strong that people see you through your work. Your work should speak for you. And then that will open better avenues in whichever
Absolutely,
country you would like to
absolutely
be.
right, ma'am. Absolutely right, ma'am. Amazing. Thank you so much, ma'am. Because everybody feels that, see, when the people are working outside of the country, it's very easy. No, it's not very easy. When I like to say, as I sum up whatever you all said, because they have expectations that these principals or these teachers they are working out of the country. It's very easy. It's not very easy. And of course, you are more comfortable in your country rather than going outside. But your destiny takes you wherever you have to go. That is for sure. Thank you so much, ma'am. Next, we'll
Thank
come up to Jaswinder sir, because your people are working outside the country. So people are, they want to know widely, because in all the sessions we have been talking about the principals and managements who are working inside the country. So it's entirely different when you're moving out of the country and working somewhere. You're not taking up your name only. Here in India, when you are here in India, you're taking up your name. But when you're moving abroad, you're taking up the name of yourself as well as a country also. Country first, then yours. Thank you so much. Then we'll come to Jaswinder Singh, sir. He is the ex-founder, director of DesignMate, which is now Reliance Group company. He's the MD and COE of Wordsworth English Language System. He has 32 years experience in the field of education, successfully run two edtech companies. He has worked as a consultant to the government of Bahrain through UNESCO, advised the government on the use of ICT in education, passionate edtech leader. Wordsworth is used by over 1 million learners annually through more than 3,000 schools and colleges in India and abroad. He has launched the world's first Sanskrit language lab and also developed language lab for Hindi. He is based out in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Let me tell you all that Sir had met, Jaswinder Sir has met me in one of the sessions where both of us were as a speaker, and he told me about his language lab, because we know all that how language learning is so important. So he told me about his language lab, how it is helping the teachers as well as the whole system, and in India as well as abroad also, and how it is useful. So I requested him, invited him for the few other sessions to come to us and let us know about that. Welcome, Jaswinder sir, and please let us know about how did it came into your mind to start up this project, and tell something about your lab, please.
Thank you, Chandok sir. Thank you for having me here. And good evening to all the panelists. Glad to be with you all. I think Chandok sir and I are the only current people who are staying in India, and we feel so happy and proud that Indian educationists are shining in the other countries. I too had an opportunity to go and work in Bahrain as a consultant to the government on ICT policies and things like that. So I used to work on projects for Microsoft, go and train people in other countries, and that's how they picked me up, UNESCO and the given. So somewhere, yes, I was handpicked by UNESCO, looking at the kind of technology-driven education work that we've been doing. So as a person, I have dedicated my life towards education. So we started with IT education and then went on to language development. In fact, we worked with more than 3,000 schools in India, and then some universities. In fact, there are 6 universities in Sri Lanka, and some schools in Malaysia, ma'am, and some in Nepal that we work with. They're looking forward to work in the other countries. I started my career with the IT education, but then I was picked up by the government of Gujarat. Our current Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. So he picked us up and he said, he said that you are training the entire government officials for IT skills. You have to now train 100,000 people on English language skills, and that was how our language vertical started, and we started teaching. So training about 100,000 people every year was a huge and a mammoth task. The government gave us infrastructure, they gave us everything. All they said is get your own teachers and teach. I'll give you as many students as you want. But there was one important thing that he put it in, the principles. He said that for every setup that you put up in urban Gujarat, 2 setups have to be put in rural Gujarat. I thought it was a easy play and all that. So we started to put up our setups and everything, but to our surprise, we were not able to get good language teachers in the rural area. So that is where our journey started. We said, okay, if we, you can't import a teacher. Yes, you can take them to the other countries, but from a tier one city to a tier two city is going to be a challenge. From tier one, you can go to a metro. So that's where we decided to create content which would help a not so good teacher to deliver better. See, teachers can't be imported. That's what I say. You need to develop them. For developing them, you need some of the other tool. So we use teaching content. We use technology driven language components to actually help these teachers deliver better. And fortunately, we did a good job, and we've got a personal certificate from our current Prime Minister Modi ji to me and my company that we did a good job. In fact, his own team was trained by us. Later on, what happened is we realized that you don't have to develop language skills when you are in college or when you've completed your schooling. Language skills should be actually developed when you're growing up, when you're doing your schooling. And that's where we came up with the first language lab in Gujarat. And then we moved on to other parts of the country. Now, ma'am, even in Shillong, we have a setup. We've got in Kashmir, we've got right up to Kanyakumari, in Gujarat up to Bhuj, across the country, almost each and every district, almost, where we have set up our language labs. And recently, we've got a tie-up with the KVs. So all Kendriya Vidyalayas are using this product of ours. And that's how the whole thing is. So that's how we got into the language thing. During the pandemic, we worked and created a project for, we wanted to start and work in other countries. So we created an online product which can be accessed from anywhere, anytime on any device. And that's how, that's the story that we have gone through. 32 years of being into education, supporting education, delivering training, but never been a principal. So I'm a principal of my company, which is a private company. That's it. But I'm happy to be with you all. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Welcome so much, sir. We'll come up to the next round, and I won't call it as a question round. It will be a suggestion round. Your views on that. I'll come up to Dr. Rajiv Chauhan, sir. Sir, we will like to know your views on the saying that the essence of language learning is that people are able to communicate with each other and build relationship. Sir, you are on mute. Yes, sir, now audible.
Sure, correct? Yeah. So now you have asked me the question is, like, I would give my views on it. It may be different, and I'm saying that it's pure my personal views. It would be different from person to person, but myself being a person from the science background may not be so accurate like other people, maybe from the languages background. What I feel is language is what? Like rightly told by Jaswinder ji, it's a skill. It's a language skill which has to be developed and has to be, come from the schooling. But the skills will help you to give you to express your feelings, your ideas, and your affection, the love to the other person. What you want to communicate. That is what I feel is a language into it, since schooling comes on to. And it's a very important how you properly communicate what you want to say. It's as simple, I would say, that it's a kind of, how you want to communicate properly to the person in front of you. That's what my way of looking at this particular query on that is. It is my personal feeling. I may be wrong, but this is how I've been doing it. I ask my students to do that particular aspect on it.
Thank you so much. Amazing. It's a very different answer, and your experience, is that the way can be changed, but the thing has to be reached at the same place. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to Radhakrishnan, sir. Sir, we will also like to know your views on the saying that the essence of language learning is that people are able to communicate, or if you want to communicate, you do have to know the language very properly.
Yeah. When we think about language and building a relationship, we can see that whether it is mother tongue or a foreign language, and especially in the case of a country like India, where more than 1,500 languages are spoken across the country, it's very important. We need a lingua franca or a connection language. So I think I will be speaking connected to English language. That will be better. Better, I think so. So when we speak about language and communication building relationship, it is not only the spoken part, how the children modulate their voice, how the body language, how they control their emotions. All these matters because we talk about building a relationship through language. So first, most important thing is before speaking, what is our emotional state? That is the most important part because what is the emotional state that controls what we speak, the voice modulation we use, what I can say, the face expression that comes, all these are controlled by emotions. So what I want to tell you is making children emotionally cautious. That is the first important aspect when we deal with languages, because the talk that comes from our heart. So if we are controlling our heart, or what I can say, if we are controlling our mind, then only the right language will come out. Otherwise, not. So do we focus on those aspects? That's what we have to see. But in schools, what is happening at present is we are focusing mainly on teaching our textbooks. So I think there should be a paradigm shift in language learning. It should be imparted like a life skill rather than what I can say a simple language teaching. That's all. I think others may differ from me. I don't know.
You're absolutely right, sir. I also second with your thought because English language learning is not given importance. Subjects are given importance.
Yeah.
Although language learning is the basic of all the subjects, as we know all very well, and this is the reason we have pick up this topic and we are discussing about that in this season, sir. Absolutely right. Like we say now, there are many schools who say that if there is no English teacher, any teacher can be an English
Yeah.
teacher. It's not like that because English is taken as casually as it is not a subject. Children are focusing on their main subject, but they are not focusing on English, although that is the base of all the subjects.
Yeah.
Absolutely right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Next, we'll come to Pramod, sir. Pramod, sir, we will also like to know from you, from your experience, what are the common strategies which can be used for language learning? Sir, you're on mute.
Yeah, as far as the common strategies are concerned, the traditionally we can say accepted strategies are listening, reading, writing, and speaking. But if you think that strategies scientifically and strategically, it is beyond that. Language deals with your pitch, intensity, throw of words, internalization, and Radhakrishnan sir are very rightly said. The body language, your verbal communication, your non-verbal communication. Who says that the non-verbal communication don't control your language? It controls much more. Rather than being a student of physics, see, I would like to add in that, see, language has a footprints. So linguistic footprint matters a lot when you're deciding the common strategies of the language, whatever be, whether it is your mother tongue, whether it is your foreign language, whether it is your third language, whether it is your national language. The footprint of the language and the linguistic depth. And linguistic depth comes from where? The linguistic depth always comes when your cognitive, cognitive, and psychomotor skills or domains are synchronized. The way of synchronizing your cognitive, cohesive, and psychomotor domain is nothing but the body language, and the body language is controlled by the footprint of the language, and footprint of the language deals with pitch, frequency, modulation, throw of words. They say that word speaks. Yes, word speaks when a proper throw is there. Word speaks when a proper intensity is there. What speaks when a proper frequency gap is there. So frequency gap, modulation, and these are the some strategies. I was very impressed by the Ruth Muskin's style of language teaching. That is called read write inclusively. You can Google it and you can find out. Read write inclusively. It is a way of living with the language, to enhance your linguistic footprint. For what? The linguistic depth. And see, the science of language is very, very, we can say, it has got scientific depth, it has got logical consistency. Logical consistency of language is this strategy which will take the linguistic depth a step ahead. Being a physics student, when I got angry, when I have to comment, I use the, some of my poems which has been written by me. It gives me inherent satisfaction. See, once I was giving some presentation and I used one word. Yes, internalize it. So when Gora stood up, internalization is not a word in our dictionary. I mean, okay, if it is not the word in your dictionary, then infographically internalize it. He said, yeah, now there is something sounding well. Infographically internalize. See, that infograph is what deals with your graphical sense. And when the graphical sense will be coming up, when your body language overshade your linguistic throw. So then he understood very well. And next time they called a physics teacher for the giving a presentation on science behind language speaking. I said, what is this? They said, yes, that is the infographical aspect of your presentation. So these are my common strategies to understand the language. Thank you. It may be something
Amazing, sir.
looking
Amazing.
something philosophical or looking
Amazing,
something
sir.
scientific, but yeah, it's a fact.
It's a
It's a
practical
ground
approach.
reality.
It is
Practical approach.
practical.
That is a difference you people make, sir. You made it because you think very differently out of the box. Thank you so much, sir. Nishu ma'am will.
Rather than throwing that box out.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to Nishu ma'am. Ma'am, we say that language learning has become, because especially we have seen in these 2 years of pandemic, language learning has become more easier with the help of technical tools. What do you say? That these tools have become, helpful for the language learning or not?
Untouched with technology in any sector of education. The way languages were taught earlier is majorly different from the way they are taught today. With earlier, probably when you wanted to learn a foreign language, let's say Swedish or French or German, you were expected to go to that very country to be able to pick up or get a taste of a native speaker speaking that language. But today, you can do that from the comfort of your home. You have several apps like Duolingo, Babbel, Memrise, which help beginners to start off on the track of learning a new language. There are tons of audios available. There are vlogs, podcasts, so you can listen to the real diction of a native speaker. And you are not bound to only your classroom. And teachers have several resources on their hands. And that's how technology becomes a complementary tool for the teacher in a classroom. I would like to give my own example. Recently, as I told you, I've been in a Francophone country for 21 years and I speak French fluently. And therefore, I decided to take a formal examination in French. And you know that when you want to learn a language, they ask you to listen more to the language. You're asked to listen to news readers, you're asked to watch movies in that language and read the subtitles to get the correct pronunciation of words. So I use technology extensively in my preparation for the exam. I would also like to mention how technology has transformed our traditional books into ebooks, which are available wherever you go. And we cannot move on without mentioning Google Translator. which has put aside the dictionary, the physical dictionary. So we do not need to go flip through the pages of a physical dictionary now. The Google Translator gives the meaning, the sentences, and the parts of speech of a highlighted word. So, yes, I truly believe that applications and technology have completely transformed the way in which we learn any language today.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. I second with the thought because we talk about India and abroad also, you are saying that you have students from different parts of the world. So with the different
Yes,
languages, when you want to keep, match up their languages, so you need some certain tool because we
correct.
say that these type of apps are the tools which help the teachers to teach the children. Thank you so much, sir, ma'am. Uh, Jaswinder sir, please let us know about the Sanskrit lab also, or the French lab also. French you have also added up into that, and how it is useful to the students who are studying abroad also, especially in the CBSE schools where these eminent guests are, working.
Yeah, thank you. So, sir, if I start with the language lab and what we do and how we work with CBSE schools. So, see, what has happened is if you see in the last 7, 8, 9 years, CBSE has brought in a lot of change in the English subject as such. So, what they're trying to do is from shifting it from a subject to a skill. Dr. Pramod Mahajan, you did talk about that, sir. The other Krishnan sir also talked about it, that it has to become a skill. So what CBSE has done is they're actually following an international framework. And that international framework is the CEFR. In fact, Nishu ma'am, if you're gave your French exam, you must have appeared for B1, B2, or C1 level of test, right, ma'am? So what
Yes, I appear for
CBSE, yeah,
TEF.
yeah, yes,
Yes.
okay. So now what is happening is even in India, the schools and the education system is, especially CBSE, is following the CEFR. So you must have been aware, yeah, around 4 years back, they introduced something known as ASL, which is Assessment of Speaking and Listening,
Speaking,
that is
listening.
actually
Yes,
based on CEFR. So
yes, which is a
according to
very good initiative. It's
it
a
is,
very
it
good
is, it is.
initiative.
So in fact, if I may, just continue from where we're talking about here is that recently, if you have seen in the 10th standard curriculum, they have come up with writing an analytical paragraph, right?
Yes,
Now that
yes,
is the C1 level of CEFR. So what
correct.
actually they are trying to do is to bring the language skills of our students at par with international level, not at par with the French speaking countries or the countries where English is a second language or a foreign language. It is being brought at par with countries where it's a native language, right? So what is happening now is to do this. First, we have a major challenge that all teachers are not trained to deliver English as a skill and not as a subject. So what we do as a lab company, we actually provide them with all the tools so that the teacher can deliver English as a skill and not just as mere subject. We're not talking about literature. We're not talking about poem. We're talking about communicative English. We're talking about the right kind of sounds, the right kind of pronunciation, the intonation, the modulation, the syllables, everything taken up that. How do you think? How do you think in English? How idea formation is there? How do you write? All those things are done. So what we do as a lab is we provide all the teachers the tools to deliver in the class. But now when we are saying it's a skill, that means somebody has to practice. So this allows the teacher to deliver in the class and allow the student to practice at home as much as they want using the app. In fact, I think Rajiv sir or Radhakrishnan sir just talk about reading. People are not reading. Pramod Majan sir, I think you also talked about reading is not happening. Reading is very important. If you again go back to, you see, if you are a CBSE school, you would be following the NEP 2020 to come on. NEP 2020 talks about research-based learning. Now, how do you expect a child to do research when he's not reading enough? And it's a fact, even teachers are not reading as much as. So what we did was, as a part of our lab, we brought in 150 books, which first the child listens. If you listen proper, you speak proper. So it is always imitation and repetition, imitation, repetition. So you actually build in or inculcate good reading habits for them to become ardent readers. So what technology does is here, as I think ma'am said, it is anywhere, anytime, on any device learning. Some students want to practice in the morning, some in the afternoon, some in the evening, some at night. Anything can be taken. So what actually the language solution does is to support a child with giving him a personalized teacher 24/7. what it does to the teacher, it lets the teacher know what exactly the student does and where is it that my teacher or my class lacks. If you look at, there are reports which are known as heat maps. What is a heat map? It will give you spots, the areas where your entire class has a problem, areas where an individual has a problem. So for a teacher, it becomes a tool to know where exactly I need to focus. So technology integrated learning is a lab where it is not only delivery by the teacher, it is also practiced by the student. Because when we talk about skill, the practice component is as important as the delivery. So it's a combination of both of them. And then what happened is when NEP 2020 was being framed, Ministry of HRD through our connects, they said do something for Sanskrit. So we started working 4 years back to develop a Sanskrit lab, and we happened to become the first company in the world to come out with a Sanskrit lab. I don't know in your countries, are you going to offer Sanskrit as the cultural language? Because CBSE is now making it mandate for 9th and 10th to have communicated
Yes.
Sanskrit. Is it going to be offered in your places also? Nishu ma'am, Radhakrishnan sir, Rajiv sir, Pramod sir.
Will be some issues. Will be
There will
some
be some
Yes,
issues.
restrictions.
circular
Yeah,
has
because
come.
they would.
Circular
But
has
if
come yesterday
yeah,
about the communicative English level 1, communicative Sanskrit level 1 and
yeah.
level 2.
So what we have done is that entire communicative English is there within an app. So even if you don't have a Sanskrit teacher, the Hindi teacher can deliver it. The English teacher can deliver Sanskrit training. So that is what we've done. Because everywhere there is dearth of good language teachers, whether it is English, Sanskrit, or any other language. So what we
Correct.
try to do is only support teachers to become better teachers, students to become better users of languages. So it is not only listening, but it is listening actively. It is not only speaking, it's speaking proficiently. It is not reading, but reading properly. Like, we, when we were studying, we were not never taught about something which is skimming and scanning, right? And today teachers are talking about, students are talking about skimming, scanning. Now, a teacher has not gone through skimming and scanning. So what we do is we put in details and tools which will help a teacher deliver or teach students how to skim and scan, how to find whether it's a fact or an opinion, how to look for syllables, how to look for syllable stress, how to look for word stress. So that is what a language lab actually does. The teacher will run it, but the students will benefit. And if a teacher doesn't know and if the teacher uses it, she becomes better, because when you teach, you learn more. That is something that we as teachers can never cease to be students. And if you're students, we keep learning. And if you're teacher students, we keep teaching and learning. That's all. So it's all technology, blended with the teaching elements of a teacher. That is what the lab does. And we've got Hindi also. And Nishu ma'am, we are working on French by around April, May. We are coming out with the French language lab, the first Indian product for French, because a lot of schools in India are now offering French. It has
That would
become a
be
fashion
great.
here.
That would be great. That would be great.
Yeah. Over to you,
Amazing,
sir.
sir. Amazing, sir. And you told me also that you are going to come up with all the languages, all
All
the
Indian
regional,
languages. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
Indian languages and some foreign languages also. As the time, I mean, you will be doing a research on that because you told me that you do so much research, then only come up with a subject.
Yeah, we've done around 50,000 man hours of research to do this product, which is currently used by more than 1 million students every day in the country, in
Amazing,
India. Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Amazing, sir. That's great. All the best to you, sir.
Thank
We are
you.
in shortage of time. We'll come up to the next round and request all the guests because we have to come up to the last round also, which will be a surprise one. But this is the second last round where you have to answer for 1 minute only. Please take 1 minute only for answering. I'll come up to Rajiv Chauhan, sir. Sir, after this round, we have a very special round which you will remember us and India all the time. Uh, Sir, language learning enhances different skills of children. Please, a very precise answer in 1 minute.
Chandokji, I fully agree with this. I completely agree with this. It enhances the different skills. I would say when you have these skills, like rightly told by Radhakrishnan sir, the reading skills, the writing skills, and the main is how to use it to the correct form. That is what it's a very important part of this language. It enhances skills of child in all the aspects are concerned. I would simply say in the short, to the point answer to this.
That's great. Amazing, sir. Amazing. Very precise and very good answer. Radha Krishnan, sir, please add some values into it.
Yeah. This language learning helps in social skills, most important social skills. Because if you know to talk well, you can build relations as we were starting with. Then another thing is decision making, because every time we choose words, emotions, body language, everything we choose, a naturally problem solving skill, because if a good communicator, he can solve problems because he can interact with people and solve problems. Then it enhances logical thinking, because language is all about logics, because grammar should match logical thinking. Then ultimately children, anyone, not only children, even adults can improve their memorization skill. So I think language learning is so crucial. And as Javinder Singh Ji was telling, now French is gaining momentum all across. Even in my school, more than Hindi, French is opted as second language. We have around 15 divisions in grade 10. Out of the 15 divisions at present, we have only 2 divisions opting for what I can say Hindi. All other 13 divisions are opting for French, even though most of them are Indians. It is gaining popularity. That's what I wanted to tell. Yeah. Over to you, Chandok ji.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Of course, sir, French is also getting a lot of fame, as well as Sanskrit also, sir. We
Yeah.
had been saying, as Jaswinder sir also told me earlier also, that it is the coding language, and if you want to go for that, so you need to know Sanskrit. We'll talk to him about Sanskrit when his turn comes. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to Pramod sir. Pramod sir, we say that every child is born with different ability and different mental levels. This goes with the language learning also. So how do you ensure, because you have so much strength in your school, how do you ensure that equal learning is reaching the to the every student?
See, it's a very common thing. Like Rabindranath Tagore ji, Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore ji used to say, don't limit the child because
Yeah.
he or she is born in a different time. The similar way, the mental stage is different, mental understanding is different, their IQ is different, their AQ is different, their SQ is different. In the same way, their linguistic understanding is also different. But again, the same thing, Professor Sugata Mitra, his experiment Hole in a Wall has proved that learning happens naturally. So the learning of the language happens naturally, and we as a teacher has to, intervene a minimum intervention brings maximum learning outcomes, and that's the importance of standardized app. Otherwise, the language varies after every 5 kilometer. Whatever be you say, where is the standardization? Where is the standardization? And that's why the concept of communicative skill has come into the picture. Understanding of a language, tone of a language, that is the flavor of a language, essence of a language is entirely different. Now, see, take my example. When I scored 60 marks in my BSc, I was having English as as a main co-subject for that. I was a university topper. And now, if you are getting 98 marks also in English, you are no more. Nowhere. What is that? Because now the success criteria and rubric based language learning playing a vital role. People are taking how one can score 100 out of 100 in language. Why? Why not? What is wrong in that? There is standardized norms. There is standardized success criteria. So what I mean to say, as per the mental levels are different, the understanding of the language is also different, and we can reach to the last child as far as the language is concerned if you have a standardized way, and the standardized tool is the unique and only available resources for that. In my school also there are a lot of special Arabic, Urdu, Hindi, French, Malayalam also. How we are reaching with them? By these particular tools
Technology.
and standardized way. No doubt, technologically teaching language has a bright future, but your own innovation and customization plays a vital role.
Absolutely, sir.
So, at the same time, how to use that particular app in a right way, that is also important. And that's why the training of the language is
Teachers.
more
Teachers.
important. So,
So,
app
sir,
is there, but
Ji.
if you are not trained how to use that app effectively, learning outcomes will not be
Not
there.
correct.
True.
So, that is my input
Absolutely,
on that.
absolutely right, sir. And we can say that teacher is the most important part of learning, and these type of apps are the tools only, and that has to be used perfectly by the teachers. If they're
Yeah, a
not handling
teacher
it properly.
teacher as a scaffolder for the learning.
Scaffold.
Teacher as a scaffolder has to speak less and allow children to speak more.
More.
Then the things will happen.
Yes, sir, for sure. Thank you so much, sir. Dinisha ma'am, are you there?
Yes, sir. I
Ma'am,
was trying. Yes, yes. My battery went off then ultimately.
no issues, ma'am. No
Yes,
issues,
yes.
ma'am. You are on an island, and that then too you are, connecting with us. Thanks to you. Ma'am, will you like to add something this, that how are you making your children learn equally? Because every child is with a different mindset.
Well, yes, all said and done, ultimately, every child holds unique qualities. And here, when we are talking about language, or for that matter, any subject, I would give two point of focus onto it. Initially, talking about languages, in our school, we are offering 6 different languages. Of course, French, Sanskrit, Hindi, and English are there. But besides that, we have Mandarin, we have Tamil, because in Malaysia there's quite a bit of Tamil population, and then we have a local language called Bahasa Melayu, which is called Bahasa in a informal way. So that way we can say it is 7 languages, and then besides that, of course, catering for the various learning processes. So what we are doing is, all technical aspects on one side. As I could just, when I was connecting to the session I was right now, I just heard Mr. Mahajan talking about it wonderfully, as to how technically we can train our teachers to take care of language learning for students. I will talk about basics. Uh, Especially when children here, they have problem in learning of Hindi, and or for that matter any other language. What we tell them, yes, all these techniques and all these requirements as far as training teachers and taking care of technical way of teaching stands, and that holds a great importance. But simultaneously, if we go back how we started speaking a particular language, or for that matter any child starts speaking a language, is when you just listen to it, you copy, you speak. First you learn to speak, and then you learn to write and read, and all technical part comes later. So, though, when the child grows beyond an age, or for that matter, any one of us, when we get into language learning, that doesn't happen because we are used to a particular language and we are picking up another one. But we can always enhance level of learning, especially talking about Hindi here in Malaysia. What we do is, I tell them, because as I say, language is learned through listening. So I tell them, make children watch some programs, some Indian channels, some Hindi movies. Hindi movies is the best way as far as learning of Hindi is concerned. So is learning of Tamil is concerned. I advise children to watch Tamil movies, Bahasa movies, and all that. And of course English people get into that. French also, we kind of bring it to them, those quick dramas, or certain other such resources where children can learn. So what I thought of putting across on the table was back to basics. Back to basics as far as the learning of language is concerned. And we really promote it, not that it is because I'm feeling so I'm communicating. We promote it that way. There are binge watching of movies teachers do for language teachers with children, where a French teacher is watching some French serials, French programs, where a Hindi teacher is watching some Hindi programs with children, especially with titles. All those who don't understand a particular language, with titles, those kind of movies. Just want to tell you, in Malaysia, Hindi movies are they're very fond of Hindi movies, and they are dubbed in their local language, and people are very fond of stars like Shah Rukh Khan and all. So that makes them more interested and attracted towards this technology of language learning. And believe you me, it holds a great success level in our school, where especially teacher fixes up at weekend some binge watch of a movie, where they fix up online, and all the children and a teacher is watching a program. And then it is not only watching and relaxing, but there's an analytic session after that, which they have to produce on next day. So I just wanted to submit that this
Quite
is very
interesting.
trustable.
Quite interesting, ma'am. And now you have another option also. Jaswinder sir has brought up with a very good option of an app where you don't have to make them see the movies, or you have to, do all the other things. Basically, they can systematically they can learn the languages, even it is Hindi, Sanskrit, or French, whichever language. And sir will be coming up with Tamil also very soon.
I have to.
That's
My wife
wonderful.
is Tamil.
Okay, okay, okay.
She's a
That's
Chennai
deadly
born.
combination. That's
Ma'am,
deadly
I'll
combination.
go one step further. She's a Gujarati, born and brought up in Chennai. So she's
Oh
a
wow.
Gujarati Tamil. So that's how it is, ma'am.
She is not a
That,
Sadarni. She is
No,
a she
she's
is
a
a
Gujarat.
Gujarati.
Yeah,
She is a Gujarati, born and brought up
in
in
Chennai.
in Chennai. That's great. So you will have to go up with Gujarati also, and you have to go up with Telugu also,
Any
Tamil
day,
also,
any day. Languages are languages. In fact, I
language.
tell anybody, I mean, okay, you can ask me a question. I'll come into that then.
I'll come. I'll come.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, Tanisha, ma'am. Stay tuned because within 5 minutes we are coming up to the next round. For that round will be for 5 minutes only, and that will be the best part of the show. Then we'll come up to Nishu, ma'am. Nishu, ma'am.
सर मेरा
uh,
बाकी रह गया सर.
आपका बाकी इसके बाद है सर.
अच्छा अच्छा. I'm sorry.
इन मैम के बाद है.
जी.
Ladies first, sir.
I got it, sir. Pardon me.
Technology is a tool with the help of which teachers can become smart and thus provide smart learning to their students. Especially when we talk about India or countries where you are staying, there the teachers they go up with the old traditions. Within these
Yes.
2 years, the technology has come into being so fast that the teachers are not teaching properly, the children are not studying online classes or whatever it is. And they say that we'll go to the YouTube channel and we'll see to the topics and subjects which we want to learn. So if you want that they are, if you want that children to study with the teachers, so technology has to be used by the teachers. What are your views on this, ma'am?
Yes, I truly believe that teachers have to be a step ahead of the students. All the technology tools that are available to students are also available to teachers. So they always have to think forward. And today is not the day of hard work, today is the day of smart work. So our blackboards and whiteboards have changed into smart boards where you have already content is already created and ready for use in the classroom. You have the traditional books have been have transformed into ebooks. You have a plethora of websites which have already created videos on every topic of every subject with online quizzes and questions and follow-ups with through which you can test your children, make it competitive. There is gaming competition, gaming techniques wherein you can test them on their typing skills, their vocabulary skills, their mathematical skills. So teachers have to be ahead of students in order to provide all this to them. I also want to show that say that the classroom is not bounded to the four walls only now. The whole world is open to the class teachers, so they just have to take the initiative. It could be calling experts through video conferencing to throw light on whichever topic they are studying, or to take them on a virtual trip around the world, through take them through the Grand Canyon, through the Amazon basin, through the Sahara desert, or make them meet the Maasais of Kenya. Everything and anything is possible if the teacher takes the right initiative in the right direction and uses technology to her benefit.
Amazing thoughts, ma'am. Amazing thoughts. Thank you so much, ma'am. Jaswinder sir, over to you in precise. We'd like to know because you heard Nishu, ma'am. In fact, you have heard all of them. That are these interesting things added up, and how does the teachers become more smarter with the apps like Wordsworth?
So before that, I'll add on to this. How languages does it become a person smarter? Before we make our classes smarter and our schools smarter, we need to have people who are smart. So basically, it is said that when a person speaks three or more languages, your brain works better. Right? Imagine if there's one sentence and you have to put all three languages and still make meaning out of it. That's a lot of effort. And if we are able to do it, our neurons work better. When the neurons work better, we become smarter. That's plain simple. If you want a child to be a smart child and a person who is accepted more, language brings closer to culture, other people's culture. So we will coexist together in a better way. One. Second, the more languages you speak, the smarter you become. That's an important part. Coming on to the point, use the use of technology to make teachers smart. Any day, you understand, today's generation is a technology resident. They were born with technology right there. The very first month they had access technology. We are technology migrants, right? So we will have to put in some efforts, which is effortless for the students of today. So as teachers, we need to use some or the other tool so that we are able to come up to the expectation of a child. Teacher today cannot make any mistake. The next moment the child will find out what is correct, what is not. So if we use technology, because you see, kids don't have to worry about family, they don't have to worry about husband and their kids, they still have time. But we have our families, we've got everybody to take care. So we've got only this much time of the day that we can devote to our profession or our interest. So if we use technology, we'll be able to access that information in the right way, in the fastest of the manner. So teachers today should use technology, and that's exactly what people like us do, is to bring in. Nishu ma'am did talk about there are plethora of website. Yes, they are available. That's why a teacher should not shy away from using technology. If you want to maintain the respect that you've been getting till date, you better use technology, because otherwise the child is going to tell you, ma'am, this is it what I want. And that's how we say technology is the way out. There's no way out onto that. And through our apps, this is exactly what we do. And you did talk about Sanskrit as a language of coding. Okay, so let me tell you, why is India pushing Sanskrit such a lot? Yes, it is there that it is our cultural language, but understand, Indians are the best coders in the world, right? Today, if you go to Germany, any engineering college, any college teaching coding or computer science has Sanskrit as a subject. Why? Sanskrit, though such an old ancient language, it is the most logical language, Pramodji. If you find out, it is the most logical language in the world today. I'll tell you how logical. Now, ma'am, suppose Dinisha, ma'am, it's your name. There's a reason why it will be D, and after that I, and then after N, and after I, and SHA. In Sanskrit, each and every letter put up in a word, there's a logical sequence to it. That is why. So, what does, when you speak Sanskrit, your brain works very, very logical. In fact, Sanskrit has a huge grammar. But imagine if you have a group of words to make a sentence, you can interchange the sentence words, but still it will make the same meaning. I'll give you an example. Radhakrishnan sir. If I have to say my name is Jaswinder, it is simple. Mama Nama Jaswindara. But if I say Jaswindara Mama Nama, that is correct. Jaswindara Nama Mama, that is also correct. So what happens is, this is one language which can make you feel very comfortable. Unfortunately, the British has put it out, and then we've been following them for such a long time. So now when they've woken up and when they're saying that let's have communicative Sanskrit, because little bit interest will be generated, because communicative Sanskrit means you don't have to bother about grammar, you just should know certain words and should be able to communicate. And that is why I say 9th and 10th standard should be there. In fact, it is 6th of August 2021 circular from CBSE. In fact, all schools in India will have to offer Sanskrit as the three language formula: the local language, the foreign language, and the cultural language. I don't know what's going to happen in the schools which are from the other countries. I'm sure they will give you options. But if the students can go for Sanskrit, it is good. It is only, and it is not that difficult. It is the most scoring subject in today's curriculum in India, but that's it. So, nevertheless, when we talk about English, if a person speaks proper, that person is perceived in a different manner. If you speak properly, people will take you seriously. And especially when you in different countries where you got people from so many other cultures, so many other countries, the common language is English. And if spoken properly, our students will always excel. And Indians, they can easily pick up multiple languages. We have been listening, Pramod Mahajan sir said 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. Yes, every 10 kilometers, the dialect changes. And that is India. And that's why, like sir said, not only science and medical, even in education, Indians are there. It is because we've been brought up this way. Yes, our education system is strong, but I don't know why some people are tarnishing it. I still say Indian value system, Indian education system, if looked at in the correct way, is one of the strongest education systems in the world. The others have a thing that if you go and look at Finland, it is 1:5 students. Here we have 1:40 students or 1:60 students. So that is going to take toll, but that all will change when they use technology. What technology will do, it'll replicate teachers. And that's how it's going to work. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And you're doing a wonderful job for the education fraternity, sir. And hopefully you will come up with the more subjects, and as well as whatever subjects you are taking, that is English, Sanskrit, Hindi, and French. They are very useful for all of us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
We'll come up to the last round until and unless Dinisha ma'am comes back again. She'll come back. This last round is, sir, this is a surprise round. We will like our all the guests to sing 2 lines in, if possible, in an original language. Radhakrishnan, sir, we'll start up with you. Something in Telugu, Malayalam, whatever original language you are speaking.
Malayalam,
sir.
Malayalam.
Malayalam, sir.
He's from Kerala.
He's from Kerala, sir. This is a, you can say not a weekend, but if we talk about, talk to Pramod, sir, it's a weekend only for him, the 3 days holiday. So, sir is just deciding which song he'll be singing, only 2 lines. Sir, Radhakrishnan, sir. Sir, you are on mute, sir.
Yeah, I will go for a devotional one. Okay, related to my name itself. I don't know how much it will be interesting because I am not a singer at all. Okay. രാധത്തിൻ പ്രേമത്തോടാണോ കൃഷ്ണ ഞാൻ പാടും ഗീതത്തോടാണോ. That's what I wanted to sing.
So only 1 line, sir. We sent you 2 lines, sir. At least 2 lines, sir.
It is 2 lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
My fault. I'm not a very good teacher, sir.
Yeah.
That's great, sir. Your effort is great, sir.
But sir, what does it mean? What does it mean?
What
Yes.
does it mean, huh?
Yes. We are asking to Krishna whether you love Radha or what Radha sings, what you like. Yeah.
That's
Correct.
great, sir. That's great. Pramod, sir,
Yeah.
over to you.
Yes.
After that, Nishu ma'am, I'll try to connect again with
Yeah.
ma'am
Dinisha.
Dinisha ma'am.
Radhakrishnan sir has sing only one, so I will complete his quota by
Okay.
singing 3 to 4 lines.
Singing.
So it's
I
in
never
Hindi.
expected.
Yeah, it's in Hindi. Okay. So, yeah, नदिया चले चले रे धारा, माझी चले चले रे तारा, तुझको चलना होगा, तुझको चलना होगा। जीवन कभी भी ठहरता नहीं है, कभी रुकता नहीं है। तू ना चलेगा तो चल देगी राहें, तू ना चलेगा तो चल देगी राहें, मंजिल को तरसेगी तेरी निगाहें, तुझको चलना होगा, तुझको चलना होगा। So keep on going ahead, whatever the situation is, as per the naturalistic way of learning.
Life.
Whether it is language, whether it is science, it's a life skill. Keep on going ahead.
Amazing, sir. Amazing. You are a true leader, a versatile leader, all-rounder, and whatnot. I don't know. I mean, what to speak about you, sir. You are really great, sir. Really great, sir. And a beautiful singer also. Nishu ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, sir. I have either a small poem in French or a song in Punjabi. Which
Ma'am,
one would you
Punjabi,
like?
ma'am, we don't want
Punjabi,
French.
ठीक है.
Punjabis are here, ma'am. Two more Punjabis are here.
Okay. ਲੱਠੇ ਦੀ ਚਾਦਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਲੇਟੀ ਰੰਗ ਮਾਹੀਆ, ਆਵੋ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਦੀ ਰੁੱਸ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਲੰਗ ਮਾਹੀਆ, ਲੱਠੇ ਦੀ ਚਾਦਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਲੇਟੀ ਰੰਗ ਮਾਹੀਆ, ਆਵੋ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਦੀ ਰੁੱਸ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਲੰਗ ਮਾਹੀਆ.
Amazing.
मैम वहां रह के पंजाबी अच्छी आपके कनेक्ट में है. Do you have a lot of Punjabi there?
Yes. It's
Punjabis,
always good to be grounded and connected to your roots.
Ma'am, it is a saying that Punjabis and potatoes are found all over the world.
Everywhere.
You can find them anywhere.
It.
If you're seeing a match in a stadium in China or Japan, even you find 2 or 2 cities over there. Sitting over Punjabi sitting over there.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. I think ma'am is not able to connect, and Chauhan sir had to go somewhere. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful afternoon as well as evening connecting with you, and I hope you enjoyed and you also learned from each other. Although you are true leaders and top leaders, and the other leaders, they follow you up. Thank you so much for sparing your time. Thank you, Jaswinder sir.
Thank you, sir.
Nishu ma'am and Pramod.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much for connecting us.
Pleasure meeting you all. Thank you so much.
Hope to see you again in another session. No,
Yes,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.